up, friends? Welcome back to my channel. I hope you all are doing well. As you can see, I'm in the beautiful JW Marriott here in downtown Houston. I'm just having a relaxing weekend away, and I'm also going to the rodeo today. All right, guys? So we're gonna be getting ready together. I'm gonna be doing a slightly glam neutral look for the rodeo. I have some new makeup, I have some old makeup, and guys, I'm also gonna be showing you how I get my signature beachy wave hair look. So if you guys wanna hang out with me this morning, get ready together and chat about some new and old makeup, then keep watching. All right, friends, let's dive in with a little bit of skin prep. I've already done my skincare and I already put on a healthy dose of sunscreen. It's kind of stormy out today, so I don't need that much sunscreen, and I am gonna be wearing a big cowgirl hat, but whatever, you guys know, I wear my sunscreen. I'm gonna start things off with my RMS Super Natural Radiance Serum in the shade Aura, and I feel like this will just kind of help to kind of like blur and conceal some of these breakouts that I've been having. And I'm gonna put just a little bit right here on the under eyes to brighten up there as well. If you've watched any of my travel makeup videos before, then you guys will know I love these little pump bottles from Amazon. I will link them down below. They are very affordable. You can get like a big pack of them. And I know that this looks kind of bad, kind of messy right now, but I swear to you guys, these have never leaked on me. And in this one, I have the Pat McGrath foundation in the shade, I'm doing light 5. I usually do light 6, but we're doing light 5 today. And I also wanted to show you guys, I have my little BK Beauty brush travel pouch, and I just have, I don't know, a mixture of brushes that I picked, so we have kind of like a full set to do a full look. All right, so just pump some foundation on the back of my hand, and I'm actually gonna be going in with this new synthetic brush from Refer, and it's so good. This is the B02. This might be in the concept store. I'll link it down below. They're so good. I'll show you guys a little bit later. There's also a smaller version of this brush, but this is great, let me tell you, for foundation. This is what I've been using all week since I got it. See how nicely it just distributes the foundation? It's like not streaky, and it feels so good on the face. I don't know, it feels like butter. I like that it's not too big, but also, you know, not too small, so that it is still quick. This foundation is still like one of my holy grails, guys. It is the best. I've been wearing this all week. I had to travel. I went home and visited my family for my birthday, which was really nice. And this is the foundation that I wore the whole time. Even when I get ready to like go on a plane or whatever, I feel like it just lasts all day on me. And so seeing as I'm gonna be outside all day today and it's really humid and kind of like thunderstormy, unfortunately, I felt like this would be a good option. Are you ready for this concealer, friends? This is an oldie but a goodie, okay? It's a little mini NARS creamy concealer, and you know what, guys? I think I need to buy a full size of these because I kind of forgot how good this concealer is. I'm using the shade Cafe au Lait. This is kind of one that matches my skin a little bit more closely as opposed to maybe like a lighter one that would be more brightening. I think I also like vanilla, if I recall correctly. I break out on my nose and it annoys me so much because it's so hard to cover up. Comment down below if you have the same problem where like makeup just does not want to stick to your nose. My nose just rejects makeup most of the time, which is why I really like that Pat McGrath foundation, because I feel like it's one of the few foundations that actually stays really well. I'm gonna be going in with the BK Beauty 109, blending this in. And then this right here is that other Rever synthetic brush that I just mentioned, guys. This is the smaller version, and this one is great for really getting into the tear duct region if you want to brighten things up. I'll probably use this to clean up the eye look in just a second, but I also really like this to kind of like spot conceal. So I'm just gonna take a little bit of the concealer, really pack that onto just like that little bit of redness that I have on my nose. I like that it has this kind of almost flat shape, so I can really just dot it on and not disturb the rest of my makeup. This would be good, you know, if you have more mature skin and you don't like to put as much concealer as I do, maybe you're afraid of it like settling into fine lines, you can take this and really just kind of get it right there where you need it. And because it is so dense, it does a good job of really packing it on very precisely. Next, we have bronzer, and I'm going to be using the new one from YSL. This is the lightest shade, the one that everyone thought was way too light, but I really like it, okay, guys? And I thought this one would be good because it is so humid out today. I just kind of want to set the makeup so that it stays in place. And these are pretty matte. They're very blendable and airy and, look very seamless on the face, but they don't really have like much glow. So I feel like they're really good for kind of like warmer weather, maybe more humid weather. It's like a good summertime bronzer. But as you can see, I'm like not very bronzed right now, so I'm using the lightest shade and I feel like this works really well. I also want to show you guys 3 new shades of the Glossier Cloud Paints. You guys know I love the Cloud Paints so much. It's one of my favorite liquid blushes. Well, they came out with bronzer versions of the Cloud Paints and I have the 3 lightest shades right here. I'm going to show you guys swatches. And we're actually going to be using one of the shades as a contour, okay? So the first one right here is called Sail. This is going to be the lightest shade. I like the fact that this is not too orangey and warm. It's very, very natural. If you're looking for something that, isn't too orange for fair skin, I think you're really going to like this. If you're my skin tone and fair, this is going to work for you. Then we have the one that I'm going to be using today as a contour. This one is called Swept, and that is the cooler toned one of the bunch. So if you want more of like a cream contour, if you do more of like that bronzer style of bronzer, then I would recommend that one. And I don't find it to be too dark. You guys will see in a second. And then finally, this one here, that is called Dune. And this is going to be for kind of like fair to medium skin tones. And this has a warm undertone. So usually I'll kind of go in with this and then maybe put this one on like the tops of my cheeks. Or sometimes I will mix these two, that's kind of what's nice about these. You can kind of like mix and match them. You could also, maybe mix these with the blush version of the Cloud Paint if you want to create something like a little bit more neutral or maybe like tone down the color. That's what I think this color Sail would probably be good for. But we are going to be using the shade Swept, which as I mentioned is the cooler toned one. I'm going in with my BK Beauty 101 brush. It looks like a lot at first, but then it blends into something a lot more natural. I love it. These are really, really good. And they're a lot cheaper than like the Westman Atelier contour stick, which I still like, by the way. I still use that all the time. That's like one of my holy grails, but it's very expensive. It's really, really expensive. And these are a little bit, like more multi-purpose, I guess you could say. For blush, I'm just going to be using one of the new limited edition bronzers from Dior, and this one is 032. These are the ones that I reviewed for you guys that have the mixture of like the bronzer, the blush, and also the highlighting powder. So it's kind of like a nice little, 3-in-1, 4-in-1. And I kind of just like concentrate the brush more so in the center so I can pick up a little bit more of like the pink. I just use it as a blush because these are pretty warm. As I mentioned in my review, I actually really like them. I just think that calling them a bronzer is a little bit deceiving because I just think that for most people, these are gonna be pretty warm. You need to have a pretty golden skin tone to want to use it all over the face. But as blush, I absolutely loved it. And don't tell me you didn't see that get a little bit rosier, okay? I definitely see it. And I like the fact that this strip right here, because it has kind of like that highlighting powder, it gives a really, really pretty sheen. If I really wanted to go minimalist today, which maybe I'll do tomorrow when I'm like feeling lazy, I could use this as eyeshadow. So I can kind of go into all the little different spots on there, which I do in the review. So you can check that out. I will link it down below. I have a bunch of foundation on my lips, so I'm just gonna kind of wipe that off and I'm gonna prep them with this little RMS lip balm. This is the Lip Lights in the shade Crush. It is tinted, but like it's a very light tint, so I just kind of use it as like a lip balm or just pop this in my purse. These are so rich and moisturizing. I love them. And I actually have the nighttime version, the night lip mask from them. It's so good. It's so good, guys. I will link all these and the shades down below along with my RMS coupon code, which should work on everything. Oh, and this headband is also from RMS. Some of you guys were asking me that in my last video. So this is also from RMS. I know, it's really cute, right? I just quickly did my brows off camera just so we could get to the eyes. I used the Victoria Beckham, what is this called? The Baby Blade. And I am down to the nub on this one. I should have ordered another one when I ordered the eyeshadow sticks, but I forgot. I need to pick up a new one because it's really good. And for the eye makeup today, I'm really excited. Okay, I have another oldie but a goodie. One of my favorite neutral palettes, the Natasha Denona Bronze palette. I thought this would be really good for like a rodeo look because it's neutral. You got like these warm, russety tones, the little like, I don't know, yeehaw, I don't know. It felt like it fit the theme. Comment down below if you agree. I'm gonna start off with the shade Beach, and I'm gonna apply this in the crease just to get like a nice little base. This is, yeah, I think this is the lightest matte in the palette. I feel like a lot of people said that this palette was too monochrome, but I gotta like that. I feel like every shade is a little bit different and has its own special character. And whenever I wanna do this type of sultry, warm tone, toasty neutral look, I always think of this palette. So it kind of reminds me of what I have in my collection. Next, I'm going into this shade, which is called Bliss. And this is the last synthetic Rephr brush that I have to show you guys today. It's really nice. It kind of looks like the Rephr #1. So it's good for laying down the color, but also blending it out. Actually, let me swatch this shade for you real quick. Ooh, see how it's kind of corally, but it has a gold shift as well. It's so beautiful. This is like a real Natasha Denona style of shade. Hopefully you guys can see and hear this all right. I'm like literally in a hotel bathroom, so I'm trying my best here to have a little bit of fun with you while I'm on my trip. I'm taking this little bitty brush from Rephr, and I'm going to just apply that first matte shade, the Beach right here to the lower lash line. Going in with that Rephr brush, once again, I'm gonna dip into these deeper mattes right here. I think I'm gonna maybe mix them. I'm going to kind of turn the brush on its side and just work that into the crease to add a little bit more depth. Next, I'm gonna take a Rephr #12. This is a denser, smaller brush, and I'm gonna go into this warm brown that is called Magma, and we're gonna put that right here on like the outer corner. I'm not gonna do too much because this is like a day look. Yesterday I did a similar look. I went to the Jonas Brothers concert at the rodeo. It was super fun, thanks for asking. And I did a similar look, but a little bit more dramatic with some fake lashes and like a black eyeliner. But I think today I'm gonna make this a little bit softer just because I don't really feel like wearing fake eyelashes again. Next, I have a Rephr #28. This is kind of like a smaller shader brush, and I'm gonna go into what is the coolest shade in this palette. It's right here. It's called Rhodium. Let's do a little swatch right here. See that? Is it purple? Is it brown? Is it copper? I don't know. It's like this really, really cool tone shade. I feel like this is so underappreciated in this palette. I think the whole palette is underappreciated. And I like to kind of just work that along here. And then when I blink my eye, I get like a nice little like duochrome type of effect. If you wanted to go a little bit more grungy, this is also a shade that you could do like all over the eye. It's the one, I guess this and Deep Dive, it's like the one cool tone shade in the palette. So I feel like we kind of overlook it as something that could give you like a cool, like one and done cool toned look. And then lastly, to add a little bit of sparkle, guys, I'm gonna go into this shade, which is called True Bronze. And this one, I think, is the most like sparkly and flashiest shade in the palette. I'm just gonna put that here in the center. I'm actually gonna do one more shade. I'm going into True Copper right here, which is a little bit of like a smoother shimmer. And I'm putting that here on the outer, or in the inner corner rather, excuse me. Now that all the shades are on my eyes, I'm gonna show you guys how I clean up this look. I'm gonna go into my little mini Hourglass powder. This is in dim light with a Rephr 13 Max. And I'm going to blend around the perimeter and really flick up the color here on the side. I also go underneath just to kind of set everything and see how much more diffused this eye looks than this. Like that just kind of looks messy. And I mean, it's darker colors. They're darker than my skin tone. Just taking this extra step, I think, really helps. And then sometimes I will also touch things up with a little bit of concealer. So right here, I have another oldie but a goodie, the Too Faced Born This Way multi-use sculpting concealer. And I have this cute little mini, which will last you so long. This is in the shade Snow. And I'm just gonna go like this, okay? Because I like this kind of lifted shape. And once again, going in with that little Rephr synthetic brush. This is so good for this type of purpose. So kind of just leans up the line and like snatches the eye. As I mentioned before, I think I'm gonna go for more of like a brown look today, something a little bit softer. So I'm gonna go in with a brown pencil liner. This is the one from Dior, the Dior Show On Stage crayons. These are so good, guys, and they also come with the little smudgy on the other side. I'm gonna try my best to do this on camera, or at least do one of the eyes. They're really creamy and blendable, and then once they set, they literally last all day. It's like, they're the best. They're really good. They don't have like the craziest colors, but they've got like all the basics, you know what I mean? And I'm just gonna follow the line that I made there with the shadow and the concealer. And then a lot of times I just kind of like take my nail and like blend it upwards, just like that. If you struggle to get the eyeliner really crisp, which sometimes I do as well, a really good brush to check out is this one from BK Beauty. This is the A505. I think this is the shimmer brush. It's really good for laying on shimmer, but I also like to use it to touch up the eyeliner. This is the Glossier, what is this? The Stretch Concealer. The Stretch Concealer, and sometimes I will use that to kind of just crisp up the lines. That's just like a little tip for you. For lashes, I have right here one of my favorites. This is the Tower 28 mascara. This is in the brown shade, which is called Drift. And I thought that the brown would go really good with this warm toned look. I forgot to do my setting spray, okay? I like to do my setting spray before I go in with my mascara. So I put on a little bit. We're gonna finish that in a second. I have this little mini Charlotte Tilbury setting spray that I got in the Sephora birthday gift for this year. My birthday was earlier this week. Just gonna spray that on. I would say this and the Urban Decay are definitely still my favorite setting sprays. I don't necessarily like one more than the other. If I had to choose, maybe the Charlotte Tilbury, because I don't know this for sure, but I feel like there's less alcohol in the Charlotte Tilbury one. It doesn't feel as intense, but I don't know. They're both really good. All right, and here is the look so far with the eyes to finish. Now we're gonna do the lips. I have here one of the Dior lip liners. This is in the color 218 Rose Rose. Yes, that is the name. Rose Rose. And I can't remember if I've talked about these on my channel, but these are actually really, really good lip liners. I wouldn't say that they're like any better than the Charlotte Tilbury and the Pat McGrath, which I really like. Those are my faves, but I would say they are as good. It's a really nice long wearing lip liner. This is a very neutral shade. It's really light. Let me show you guys on the back of my hand. So I just kind of use this with whatever like nude lip I want to go in with. It kind of almost matches the tone of my lips, but it's just to kind of like crisp everything up. And then for lipstick, I'm going in with one of these new matte lipsticks from Merit, and these are so good, guys. This is one of the best nudes. This is called Antibes. It's just like a really good neutral matte type of lip. It is a little bit warm, as you can see, but it goes really well with the eye look. If you want something that's a little bit pinker, there's another color, I believe it's called Classic. So good. I just ordered one of these for my mom because I want her to try it out. I think she's really gonna like these. They're so creamy, hydrating. They don't dry out, guys. They are so cloud-like. And I mentioned this in my recent updated lipstick ranking, but these are a good dupe for the Prada Beauty soft matte lipsticks. They are very, very similar, and they're like almost half the price. I think these are 26 and the Prada are 50. So check these out, okay? Especially with the Sephora sale coming up, those are gonna be a really good buy. Okay, friends, makeup is done. Now we are getting into the hair. And before I heat this baby up, I wanna show you guys the hair tool that I use to get my beachy waves. I get so many questions about this, and I felt like this would be kind of a good time to show you somewhat of a tutorial because there's a little bit of a learning curve with these types of tools. The one that I use is the Bedhead TIGI brand, and it's called A Wave We Go. It's not super expensive. I wanna say it's like maybe $40, $45, but you can see right here, it gives you kind of like multiple looks in one because unlike a lot of other wavers, this one is adjustable. So you turn this little thing here and you can actually make the wave bigger, or you can make the wave a little bit, you know, like tighter and coily and whatever. So I kind of start off in the middle to a little bit larger of a wave. And then as I get to the top of my head, I will go all the way down because the pieces are smaller, like they're shorter because my hair is a little bit layered. So I'll show you guys what I do. I am going to plug this baby in, and I'm also going to show you guys how I clip in my hair extensions as well because I'm going to be wearing those today. Okay, so what I do is I split my hair up into horizontal sections and I use little clips just like these that I get from Amazon. And then I basically work in sections all the way up to the top of my head. I find that the waves hold a lot better if you just kind of do a light little dusting of hairspray. My hair is very fine and thin, guys, and I feel like this style helps to kind of add some volume and bulk to any hairstyle. And it also doesn't take me too long because, as I mentioned, I don't really have that much hair, okay? So I'm gonna take a little strand here just to start demonstrating how I do this. I know that there's not a lot of hair here, but the first extension is gonna go right back there on the nape of my neck. So here's how you do this, okay? You hold the tool like this, and you don't wanna do it like this, okay? That's what I did at first, and I was like, I'm so dumb, I can't see what I'm doing. So you turn it this way. Okay, it seems like it would be super easy, but like I said, there are some tricks. So not only am I gonna clamp it down here, I'm not gonna like pull this down this way. I'll show you what not to do. Because when you do that, you get this like really awkward kink in the hair, all right? So what you wanna do is let the strand of hair be kind of more loose in your hand. And when you go down, you kind of go like that, all right? So that the hair is being curved and not crimped. So I'll show you again, and you clamp it down, and then I kind of just go like that. Clamp it down and just kind of go like that, and see how it comes out just like nice and wavy. Now for the extensions, basically what I have right here are just these little clip-in pieces. Some of them have 2 clips, some of them have 3, one of them has 4. Whatever you get, okay, it's fine. You can always kind of line them up however you want. But if you have very fine and thin hair like me, what you need to make sure you do when clipping in extensions is you want to try and keep most of them below the ears. Like maybe this is the highest, because if you don't have a lot of hair at the top of your head like me, or if you don't have a lot of hair in general, it's going to be really hard to have enough to kind of cover and conceal the clips right there at the roots of your hair. Hopefully that makes sense. Like if I put one up here, there's nothing up here to like lay over the clip, and it's gonna look like you've got a bunch of clips in your hair. So I like to start as low as possible here on the nape of my neck, and then I will keep all of the rows of clips as close as possible, with maybe like the highest one, as I mentioned, being right here, like on the side of my head. And I like to start off with a little 2 clip, and what I will do is I will just spray my hair at the roots. Then I will use this little rat tail comb, and I will just kind of tease the hair ever so slightly. I'm not trying to say this is good for your hair, okay? I don't do this on the reg, but I will wave my hair, and if I want to be a little bit more glam, then I put in the extensions. So now that I have a little bit of an anchor there, I'll just take this. As you can see, there's like little clips, and I will just clip it in. So just pop that in, clip it, and see, it's like super secure. Sometimes I put the extensions in and I crimp everything together. It really is just like what works best for you. You could pre-crimp the extensions like this. You just hold them and then clip them in. I find that it's easier to style the extensions when they're clipped into my hair because it just feels like I'm styling my hair. When I curl my hair, I do the same thing. I find that curling it all together when they're clipped in is a lot better because the curls kind of all blend in seamlessly. But when it comes to the crimping, I don't know, I don't really feel like it makes that much of a difference. So now that I have this in my hair, I can show you on a longer piece how I do it. And this hair is way better than my natural hair, okay? So it's gonna hold the crimp better. It's going to last longer, look better, so you can kind of see that little piece. So I'm going to kind of finish up most of my hair, guys, and then I'm gonna show you what I do for the strands at the top of my head. Okay, so I have 4 rows of hair extensions going around my head on the bottom half of my head. Now I have 2 little 2-clip ones remaining, and usually what I do is exactly this. I put these on the sides right here. I can't really go up here because once again, I don't have enough hair to cover up the clips, but I'll kind of put them right here so that I have a little bit more, longer hair to play around with towards the front of my head so that it kind of blends in with, the hair that I have right here in the front. All right, friends, we have reached the top of the head, okay? I'm just going to release what is left, and this is when I will basically just make the waves a little bit smaller and tighter, because if you have some shorter pieces here on the top, you want to get like enough waves, enough undulations or whatever they're called into one single piece, okay? And especially these ones in the front, I do recommend taking a rather small piece. And the biggest thing that you want to watch out for is not getting like a huge bump right on the crown of your head. So when you go in at the top, you don't want to clamp down too hard. You just want to do like boop, something very, very light, so that you don't get that bump right at the top. And these will relax a little bit. So maybe it looks a little bit weird at first, but it will relax, trust me. So just try and take very small pieces here in the front. And then once again, boop, just kind of like that. All right, so this is what it looks like with the extensions in and with everything crimped. Clearly a little bit more glam, takes a little bit longer with the extensions, but you guys see me with these beachy waves and just kind of like my normal length hair in my videos all the time. Sometimes if I'm going to like a wedding or something and I want to make the look a little bit more romantic, what I'll do is I'll kind of take some face framing pieces here in the front, and then I will clip the hair back like this so that it's kind of out of the face and a little bit, I don't know, just like more romantic, more flowing, very fairy tale type of look. I really like it. And when you clip the hair back like this as well, friends, it also does a really good job of concealing the clips. So if you still struggle with the clips showing, try doing, like a little, like a half up, half down type of situation. So now that the hair is finished, I'm just gonna mist everything with the Shaper hairspray. I have like a little bit left in here. I don't have that much, so I'm kind of like hairspray rationing. I think you guys have all been there once before, but this is a nice like light hold. And keep in mind as well, I'm gonna be putting a cowgirl hat on top of this, so if anything at the top is like a little bit sloppy, it's totally okay. Like no one's really gonna tell, and it's gonna get a little bit flattened out anyway. All right, friends, so this is the final look. Let me take you guys over to the window so maybe you can see this in more natural light. All right, friends, and this is the final look here in natural light. Comment down below, let me know what you think. Very natural, very glam, a little bit of warm tones, and then some beautiful romantic long wavy hair. Thank you for hanging out with me today. If you like this video, please don't forget to give me a big thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already. And with that, friends, I hope that you see some beauty in your day, and I will see you in my next one. Goodbye.